there, Dr. Michaela O'Connor here, your Denver Pediatric Chiropractor. I'm coming to you live from Pearl Street Chiropractic with a short video to talk to you about why summertime is a great time to have your child evaluated by a pediatric chiropractor. As most of you know, your central nervous system lies within your skull and your spine. And it's the duty of your central nervous system to perceive your environment and your surroundings, and then to coordinate all of the processes necessary for adapting to that environment. Now, when we have pediatric patients in our office, what we're evaluating is the ability for their central nervous system to adapt to their environment. When the central nervous system gets overwhelmed by stress, it's no longer able to adapt to the environment. And this is really important because this is where symptoms like neck pain, back pain occur, and also where dysfunction and disease begin to happen in the body. So when evaluating kiddos in the summertime, we look to the three stresses. We have physical stress, emotional stress, and at the end there we have chemical stress. And the reason it's important to get checked in the summertime is because there's actually a big shift in these stresses compared to when they're normally in school. So we'll start off here with physical stress. Some physical stresses you experience as a kiddo in the summertime begin with travel. Travel's a big one, you know, traveling on airplanes or by car, sleeping in different beds, new places. Maybe if you guys are big into camping, you're sleeping on the ground. And that's a big physical stress on our body. Another one we have here is summer camp. Summer camp's a big one. They're trying new activities, running around, playing new sports, making new friends, things like that. Last but not least, but this is the biggest one of all, we have roller coasters and water slides. Think about all the times you're on a roller coaster and your head's just kind of bobbing back and forth like that. Same thing on a water slide when your body's just kind of slamming up next to the slide as you're going down. Lots of fun, but definitely causes little bumps and bruises along the way. Next is emotional stress. Now, you might not necessarily think that your kiddo has a whole lot of emotional stress in their life, but it's subtle things that you might not necessarily think about that end up causing some issues. So the big one we see in the summertime here is a change in daily routine. So kiddos are creatures of habit. They thrive on structure and routine and habit. So when it transitions from school, waking up, going to school, extracurricular activities, coming home, doing homework, going to bed, to summertime, where all of a sudden all the schedules are pretty much either thrown out the window or just completely shifted, it can cause some emotional stress in kiddos, and it can get a little wired in that case. The next one is changing schools, changing grades, new teachers. Anticipating a new school year can be really stressful on kids. They might have to think about making new friends or fitting in at a new school, or wondering if their new teacher is going to be hard or if the homework is going to be more challenging in the next grade. And then again, we added travel onto the emotional stress as well, just because, again, changes in your schedule, waking up early, trying to catch flights, things like that really can be a stressful experience, as I'm sure you've experienced yourself. Last but not least on the list, we have chemical stress. Now, chemical stress, a big one in the summertime, is sun exposure. While vitamin D is essential to our health and it's great to get outside and get exercise, how many times have you spent too much time in the sun and just felt totally drained by the end of it? It can be stressful on our body to have to deal with that sort of exposure. Also on that list, we have chlorine. Spend a lot of time at the pool, at the splash pad in the summertime. There's chemicals in those waters, which are obviously necessary for some of our public safety and public health, but it's definitely a stress on our body that we have to handle. And then last but not least, good old-fashioned summertime sweets. I tried to draw a cute little version of my favorite firecracker popsicles, but I can't imagine those blues and reds are the most natural of flavorings in the world. There's definitely a lot of artificial flavors and colors in a lot of our favorite summertime sweets. Also, just an increase in sugar in general can stress our body out. So we look at these three stresses in kiddos when they come in during the summertime, and we actually have technology in our office where we can measure the kid's nervous system and measure whether the adaptability to the stress is working properly, or if perhaps they could benefit from some chiropractic adjustments to help them better adapt to these stresses and their environment. Summertime, last but not least, is a great time to get checked out by a chiropractor because it sets you up for great success going into the school year. There's benefits in focus and energy control and just getting the body and the mind completely set and in tune for a great school year is just setting your kids up for success. So this has been Dr. Michaela O'Connor with Pearl Street Chiropractic, your Denver pediatric chiropractor, talking to you about summertime being a great time to get your kids adjusted. And until next time, have a great summer.